Today I'm going to show you how I create a logo. So basically I've recorded everything from start to finish. I'm going to go through it with you step by step. So if you also want to start doing logo designs or you want to create your own logo, then hopefully this will help. If you do enjoy these kind of videos, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and I'll also leave a playlist of other videos on screen and in the description so you can check those out too. But without further ado, let's get going. So first things first, I needed a logo to design. So I asked my followers on Instagram and a couple of you guys sent them over, and I had a reply from the wonderful Jade. So Jade says, I have recently set up a new business called Pick Your Mix with Pick and Mix Sweets. I was wondering if you'd like to design a logo for this. So she sent me the existing logo, which I will put here, and she said, I have ideas around having a sweet scoop, the ones you see when you go into the shop to do a pick and mix, and also having sweets in the scoop, and the name of the business, Pick Your Mix, in the scoop too. And I really like this idea. It kind of had me thinking as soon as she sent it to me. So first things first is I went over to my iPad and I go into Pinterest. Now if you've watched a few of my videos, you'll know I love Pinterest. And basically I use Pinterest to gather inspiration, look at similar logos. You'll see from what I'm sort of scrolling through, I was trying to find colourful vibes, something kind of modern but fun, something that would appeal to both children and adults, you know, because we all love sweets. So that was the sort of vibe I was going for. I kind of went through, pinned a few, and then what I do generally is save a couple of those to my iPad and then head over into Procreate. So over in Procreate, I actually like to put the Pinterest images on the side. So I sort of like drag up from the bottom of the screen and make sure I've got like a bit of a split screen going on. I do have the iPad Pro. I use Procreate and I also have an Apple Pencil, but you can use a sheet of paper. It's completely up to you. Just use the tools that you have at hand. Then once I've sort of started to sketch ideas, you can see that I'm trying to refine things. So I will kind of sketch out some bubble text. I wanted something quite fun. I didn't want anything too rigid and like straight cut. So you'll see I played around with some circles. I want to add some sweets in there. And I'm thinking maybe like oranges and pinks. And yeah, this is just my time to sketch out some ideas and sort of kind of dump everything that's in my brain onto a piece of paper, or a digital piece of paper in this case. So then what I do is I airdrop that image over to my MacBook. Again, you don't need a MacBook. Anything that works to design things, a laptop, a computer, you're sorted. So I airdrop it over to my laptop and I open it in Adobe Illustrator. So once I've opened Adobe Illustrator, first of all, I like to pick my fonts. So I usually write out the business name in a few different fonts that I like the look of, and through the process of elimination, I get rid of the ones I don't like. So then once I did that, I like to outline the fonts. I'm not going to go into this because I have like a whole Adobe Illustrator online course that's always linked in the description. But basically I'm outlining the text and then adjusting it to make it my own and not just like a standard text. Then I found this scoop and I'm just adjusting the vectors on that, and I decided to add some sweets. So I downloaded these sweets from Envato and I'm just trying to arrange them. This took a lot of back and forth. I couldn't work out what colours I liked. I was trying to add a white stroke. It was very experimental, and I feel like that's super important with logo design because you don't know what it's going to look like until you try, and that's the beauty of like digital design. If you mess up, you can just undo it or delete it and start again. This is why I don't paint on actual canvases, because you can't delete things. So yeah, I'm just changing the colours. I feel like these colours looked a little bit like a Twix bar. So I sort of mixed things up, changed it to the pink, and this is where I'd probably ask my client for some colour options, or I'd go back and forth and send over a few different like variations. But you can kind of see I've decided to change the layout of the text. I actually wanted to try and do this like little ribbon effect in the background. Maybe it was kind of giving me like train ticket vibes. I wanted to chop out these corners. You'll see that I'm using the Pathfinder tool to chop them out. I had it in orange and then I think eventually I changed it to blue. You can see my indecisive way of picking colours hasn't changed if you've watched a lot of my videos. But yeah, so you can see how I changed it, and I ended up leaving it for a few days and actually going back to it and just sticking to my original idea. So here I am placing the sweets in the scoop. I'm going with the client's idea of like having the scoop and having the name coming out of it. It was quite hard to place the scoop because of the handle, so I kind of shortened the handle a little bit, played around with the placements of the sweets, and I guess went from there. I think round about now I've got a pretty good idea of what I like. I generally like to design logos and then leave them for a couple of days and then come back to it. I always remember my lecturer at uni used to tell us to like sleep on it and look at things with a fresh pair of eyes in the morning, because generally as a designer you spend that long staring at something, it doesn't really look like what you want it to look like anymore. So I slept on it for a few days and then I went back and just made some tweaks. So I decided to change the circle in the background to like an actual like sweet shape. I added some colour to it, I added a stroke to it, and then it's time to play with colour. Now colour, weirdly, is the thing that I'm always the most indecisive about. This is the moment I'd most likely send my design back to the client and get them to see what they think. Send a few variations maybe, like you can see that I've gone with like a few different outlines and I can change the layout. Then I'd get my client to check it, tell me which one they prefer, and maybe let me know some colours they like the look of. So as you can see, I'm literally just playing around with the Recolor artwork tool and just having a go. Like I said, I'm super indecisive with colours, so I was picking up colours from images on Pinterest and just changing the outlines to black, you know, mixing things up. But like I said, send it to your client, get their opinion on it, or if it's a logo for yourself, ask your pals, see what they think too. Alright, so I think I've settled on some colours that I like. I prefer the one with like the yellowy orange background. I feel like it just looks nice with the pink text. And again, I've like juggled things around as per, because I can never make up my mind. And now we are going to create a quick little mock-up. So I actually downloaded the mock-up from Envato Elements. I talk about them a lot. They're always linked in the description. And I created this little mock-up here, which is just an idea of what the logo would look like, maybe as a sticker on a bag of pick and mix sweets. And I do think it actually looks really cool. So like I said, I'd send this design to Jade, I'd send her the mock-up, I'd maybe send her a mock-up of some stickers so she can kind of see her logo in action. That's something I've learned along the way. It's really important and really valuable in the long run to spend that little bit of extra time doing a mock-up so that your client can visualize how their logo would look in like situ. So for example, if you're designing a logo for a shop, maybe put the logo onto like a shop window and then they can visualize it, you know? So yeah, that is how I design a logo. Let me know if you'd like me to do more like this. If you don't follow me on Instagram, follow me over there, because I'm always asking for new logos to redesign and I like to get you guys involved. Like I said, don't forget to subscribe to this channel, and yeah, hope you've enjoyed it and I'll see you next week for another video. Bye!